So I'm sure many of you have seen recently what has been going on with Donald Trump.
Another post on Truth Social by President Trump saying a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran.
You've said Iranians would be mad if you stopped these attacks, but why would they want you to blow up their infrastructure, to cut off their power? Wouldn't that be punishing Iranians for the actions of the regime?
They would be willing to, and it's suffering, they would be willing to suffer that in order to have freedom. The Iranians have, and we've had numerous intercepts. Please keep bombing. Bombs that are dropping near their homes. Please keep bombing. Do it. And these are people that are living where the bombs are exploding. And when we leave and we're not hitting those areas, they're saying, please come back, come back, come back.
What?
And what we have seen is a president who has threatened the Pope, who has purposely blockaded the Strait of Hormuz and presented himself as a Jesus Christ-like figure.
Stop it. Get some help.
I never thought I would witness a president actually going and attacking the Pope. Now, you may have geopolitical differences and you may disagree with some policies, and that's normal. That's understandable. But to actually attack the Pope, that's a different story.
The things that I say are certainly not meant as attacks on anyone. And the message of the gospel is very clear. Blessed are the peacemakers. I will not shy away from announcing the message of the gospel, of inviting all people to look for ways of building bridges for peace and reconciliation, of looking for ways to avoid war anytime that's possible. To put my message on the same plane as what the president has attempted to do here, I think is not understanding what the message of the gospel is. And I'm sorry to hear that, but I will continue on what I believe is the mission of the church.
We don't like a pope that's going to say that it's okay to have a nuclear weapon. We don't want a pope that says crime is okay in our cities. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of Pope Leo. He's a very liberal person, and he's a man that doesn't believe in stopping crime. He's a man that doesn't think that we should be toying with a country that wants a nuclear weapon so they can blow up the world. I'm not a fan of Pope Leo.
You serious?
I'm not a Catholic, but I will for sure respect Catholicism and their traditions. I would never try to disrespect or talk, in essence, shit about the Pope. Just because he may not necessarily follow my beliefs doesn't mean what he's saying doesn't hold water. Because I agree with the Pope. We shouldn't be in this unjust war. But Donald Trump, I don't know, he's like a petulant child. If he doesn't get his way, he cries about it.
No.
And then he goes on Truth Social and then starts complaining about it. And then he goes on national TV and literally calls out the Pope.
Oh boy.
It's insane. And I'm not for this. I am not for anyone to disrespect any sort of religious leader, even if I personally disagree with what they're saying or what they believe. But to actually attack the Pope, I don't know. That's crazy to me because you are also insulting billions of people around the world. And that for me is unacceptable.
I don't like bullies. I don't care where they're from.
And we also had Prime Minister Meloni in Italy who spoke against Donald Trump for attacking the Pope.
What I said is what I think. Those statements, particularly regarding the pontiff, were unacceptable. I expressed and continue to express my solidarity with Pope Leo. I'll tell you more. Frankly, I would not feel at ease in a society where religious leaders do what political leaders tell them to do. Let's say not in this part of the world. So that is why I did not agree, and I said it.
And of course, Donald Trump started attacking her as well, too.
Do we still have the same relationship with Italy right now and Giorgia Meloni?
No. She's been
negative. Anybody that turned us down for helping with this Iran situation, we do not have the same relationship. Just so you know, Italy gets a lot of oil from the Strait. You can call it the Strait of Hormuz or the Hormuz Strait. I said, which is better? They said, either is okay, but you can call it either one. The only thing you can't call it is the Trump Strait. They don't like that idea.
He's lost his mind.
So this really seems like the alliance with Donald Trump is really splitting apart around the world. Not to mention seeing Viktor Orban not being reelected again, even though you brought your lapdog JD Vance to try to help promote Viktor Orban and campaign for him. So it seems like Donald Trump's coalition and his allies are beginning to part ways from him, and rightfully so.
Hasta la vista, baby.
But here's the thing that's very disturbing. Not only did he get America into an unjust war with Iran because of his vindictive ways, Donald Trump believes that barricading the Strait of Hormuz is the right thing to do.
Iran refused to budge on its ambitions to have a nuclear program. Control over the Strait of Hormuz was another major sticking point. And Donald Trump today, trying to exert maximum pressure on Iran to accept America's terms, is, as you said, ordering this naval blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, trying to stop Tehran from earning money through its oil exports. Posting on social media this morning, effective immediately, the United States Navy will begin the process of blockading any and all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz. We will also begin destroying the mines the Iranians laid in the straits. Any Iranian who fires at us will be blown to hell.
I predict they come back and they give us everything we want. And I told my people, I want everything. I don't want 90%. I don't want 95%. I told them, I want everything.
So after trying the military and diplomatic routes, Donald Trump is now tightening the noose economically, hoping that that produces the results he wants.
That's crazy to me. What I find very reprehensible is that he did this with Cuba. Cuban people were literally starving. They had no energy. The power was out.
It has been another difficult few days for Cubans dealing with power cuts on the island and political rumblings from Washington. First, there's been widespread blackouts. Last week, the entire electrical grid went down, the first time since Washington has imposed a near total fuel blockade on the island. The government says that not a single oil shipment has made it to Cuba in 3 months. Meanwhile, President Trump has used some incendiary language which is sure to anger those in power on the island.
I do believe I'll be having the honor of taking Cuba.
In one town in central Cuba, tempers boiled over. Protesters attacked, even set fire to the local Communist Party headquarters. Such public displays of anger are rare, even in the current crisis, but it shows that frustrations are growing.
And our president thinks that that's okay. And now he wants to inflict this on the rest of the world. Not only is he hurting allies in Europe with the European Union and with NATO, he's also alienating his allies in the Middle East and also in Asia. And so, America, you may actually get your wish. You may actually become an isolated country. And there are some massive consequences and ramifications with that. Keeping the Strait of Hormuz closed will absolutely hurt the world's economy, because President Trump, it's not just the oil, it's also fertilizer. It's also liquid natural gas. And these things the world needs. It isn't about Donald Trump. This isn't your show, because whatever support we had from the world is falling apart. It's leaving. No one wants to support America's hegemony or agenda.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning.
And the history books down the road will tell a very disturbing story about this president and his presidency. But one of the worst things I saw recently in modern history is this man portraying himself as some sort of deity. Now, personally, if you look into this rabbit hole, I don't think he's dressing as Jesus. He looks like a magician from tarot cards.
Interesting.
I'm not sure if you know who Marina Abramovich is, but she is a quote-unquote artist. I think something differently. But this is what she had to say about Donald Trump.
So coming out of this dream, the shaman told me that actually the best thing happened in this planet right now is the Trump to be the president. I said, how is this possible? It's the best thing to happen. He said, yes, because he's so irrational, he's so crazy. That's actually create that awakening, that we finally wake up. Because before it will be another guy and everything looks similar, but he's so different than anything else. So he's the magician who waking us up. What do you think about that? The Trump is the best thing happened ever to us, because she believed, not her, but the entire population of this Nordic magician, that he is the magician of the highest order, that he is there in his irrational mind to create confusion in order that the human being can find new order. And it's not so stupid thinking about this in that way. It's completely turning things upside down. Because since Trump is around, things are changing.
And so the red and white robe, to me, represents a magician. And also, what the hell is that on top? That doesn't look like an angel. It looks something more sinister, more demonic. But this is what Donald Trump has to say.
Did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as the doctor, and it had to do with Red Cross, as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor, making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better. As an example, the 11,000, I understand your husband's going through treatment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's going through some very serious cancer treatment, so
yes,
this goes a long way.
Yes, sir, it sure does.
So Donald Trump just said that he believes he was a doctor.
Right.
You see, America, this man clowned you. He lied. He manipulated, he gaslighted. And for many of you, this is a surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
But really, he has always shown his true colors. Donald Trump has never been the answer. We elected a man who gaslighted and was using talking points to become a populist. That's why I believe he was circulating himself around people like Viktor Orban. You see, Donald Trump does not give a damn about America, or Europe, or Asia, or any alliance that America has. Donald Trump only cares about Donald Trump. And that has never been a secret.
Whatever, I do what I want.
Here's his old interview with Barbara Walters.
You're going to have a war, and it's going to start in the Middle East. Why couldn't we go in and take over some of their oil, which is along the sea?
How would you do that? Would you send in the Marines? Would you take a chance in a war?
Let them have Iran. You take their oil. That's what
How?
How?
I mean, do we want a war? What do you mean we
go in,
take their oil?
You go in. You're
How
gonna have
do
a
we
war,
go
Barbara.
in?
You're going to have a war by being weak.
Okay, how do we go in? What do we do?
Excuse me.
Yeah?
You're going to have a war, and it's going to start in the Middle East.
What if the Soviet Union said, you do this to Iran, we're going to come in?
I don't believe they'd do it. The next time Iran attacks this country, go in and grab one of their big oil installations, and I mean grab it and keep it, and get back your losses, because this country has lost plenty because of Iran.
And even back then, he was bullshitting. You can see on Barbara Walters' face, like, bro is literally lying to my face right now. But we ate it up because he promoted fear instead of exactly what he was planning to do to help America. You see, America, it's not about left or right. It's we are united, we the people. And that's something I think we definitely forgot.
Just thinking about how much we could accomplish if people weren't so close-minded.
I think what we lost was critical thinking. I think what we lost is to be able to really understand our thoughts and what we say. I know I challenged a lot of people recently. For the past month, I've been asking questions. Why do you believe this? Why do you believe in that? What is your evidence? What is your proof? Is evidence considered proof? And a lot of times people dismiss me. A lot of times people use pejoratives or they just don't answer.
It's what Americans do.
We the people were entrusted with something fragile and extraordinary. A nation built not on rulers, but on responsibility. On the quiet understanding that power lived within us, not above us. And yet, somewhere along this road, We traded the birthright for banners and tribes, letting politics carve lines where there were neighbors. We have allowed extremes to drown out reason, allowed identity to replace unity, and lifted leaders onto pedestals they were never meant to stand on. We were never meant to worship a president, only to hold one accountable, never meant to serve a party, but to serve each other. Now we look across at one another, not as fellow citizens, but as enemies defined by labels, forgetting that the strength of this country was never in its government, but in its people. Steady, imperfect, but united in purpose. If there is a way forward, it won't come from louder voices or stronger leaders, but from a return to that simple, demanding truth, that this nation begins and ends with us, and it is ours to rebuild together. Donald Trump is a madman. He does not care for the American people or the American values or the American way. He has tarnished and trampled over the Constitution. He has disrespected a religious figure, not to mention portray himself as deity. I live by this motto, that actions speak louder than words. And in this man's action, he has shown, not just to the American people, but to the world, that he cannot be trusted with this power. This power is not to inflate an ego or to inflate his own personal wealth, but this power was to rebuild this nation, to help America's citizens, but also reflect that city on that shining hill to the rest of the world. We were the example. We were the country that many people marveled and wanted to be like. But yet, over the years, we have destroyed our reputation. We have shown the world our true face, our true color. And I am not sure if we are able to repair it. America, we are better than this. We are educated. We are able to think rationally. We are able to critically think. So I ask, as an American who lives abroad, is he worth it? Is he worth seeing our country being destroyed within? I hope and pray by the end of this, we will get back on our feet and show the world our resilience and what it means to be an American. So if you feel my content is valuable, I'm really trying to build a community, and I would love to build a community with all of you. So I do ask if you can please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and please hit that hype button. Thank you for everyone for watching. Thank you for all of your support. And with that said, without further ado, let's get into it.
We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.